Yeah. I also I haven't put it as a link tonight, but I saw Doug had said that the pricing that they presented did take into account their 450 and 400. I think it's, well, I'll save it for the show. We're 40 seconds away. Do you want to kick off with that stuff and get into the games, or get into the games and then get into that stuff? Let's get it off the tracks. It's good. It's probably for the best. Yeah. Let me get. Speaking of that, let me get us in here. Chase, are you in? Are you in the show here? Are you here? Did we get you in?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, Chase is in. Everybody, we made him here. You're in. Hey, I'm Bobby. That's Chase. This is the Casual Hour.
I've never been in before. I've always been out.
It's hip to be in, is what they say, Chase. I don't know if you know that. It's hip to be in. We are hanging out on the 9th day of April. Shit's crazy. It's 9 p.m. Central where we're at, and we're going to tell you about why it's crazy.
Yeah, it's 2025, man. It's always crazy.
It's been crazy, Chase. Things have been fucking chaotic, in and outside of all things. My life is good. My family, the people I care about are good as we can be. But there's a lot of crazy shit happening right now. And caught up in a lot of that is the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
I thought we were done. I thought we were done talking about this thing. We dedicated a whole fucking deep dive to it. We put all the beans out there. We spilt the beans. We drank the tea. We chewed the fat. And here we are talking about it again because shit's fucking crazy, Chase.
Well, yeah, everything changed the day after. Literally
the day after.
And it's the Trump tariff stuff, and we saw that stuff.
Yeah,
we knew it was happening. He talked about it, and whatever. But it mattered in that Nintendo said, like, oh, actually, never mind. Pre-orders aren't going up April 9th anymore. Like this
for the United States, right?
No, because a lot of jokes were like, or I think like Nintendo of Canada even came out and said like our date hasn't changed, everything's the same. And then I think it was actually just yesterday where they were nope, fuck Canada, we're not doing it there either. That was my joke to you, is that we were going to take a road trip and go get Canadian Switch 2s and come back.
Oh man,
we're going to smuggle them across the border. But yeah, that's not happening either. So the last thing I heard, and again, everything changes literally all the time.
Yep.
Is that it's only the pre-order dates that are changing.
Yep.
So it's this should have been the day that we probably didn't get our pre-orders for the Switch 2, but some people probably did.
Well, I think we would have. I think we certainly put the time in.
I mean, we were we were preferred Nintendo members to get.
Well, I mean, I would have tried. I think I would have got a Switch this morning. I think
I would like to think so, but I'm pessimistic. I feel like I would not have gotten it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Based on my ability to get concert tickets or sneakers or Magic the Gathering secret layers. I
Hey, who
don't
got
feel
you that
confident
shiny
about.
PlayStation you got?
Not me.
Me,
That's the thing.
baby. Me.
That's the thing.
Well, maybe you being a part of the family on Nintendo Switch Online to be like, oh, here comes the royalty.
Maybe. So yeah, the date, whenever it was supposed to be, June something, right?
Yep.
That hasn't changed.
Nope.
But we haven't heard anything about when pre-orders will be available. So
we're gonna touch on a little bit of that.
Shoulders and waiting for what happens. Gamers have become real politicians. Well, more than they were before.
Dude,
now we're all talking about trade wars and tariffs and reciprocal tariffs, and actually we're putting a pause on all that shit except for China. But that China makes all the shit anyway. So
do me a quick favor. Go and search Google. The search plot of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 2012.
Oh no.
And let me know what it says there.
Call of Duty Black Ops, which one?
2. The one that came out in 2012.
Okay. Plot of Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Okay. The story takes place across 2 different arcs.
It takes place in 2025.
Oh, one event takes place in 1986 to 1989, 5 years after the events of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and 18 years after Mason stops Draganovich and Nova 6. But yes, in the year 2025, a U.S. Special Operations team led by David Mason and his partner Mike Harper arrive at the Vault, a top security location home to an aging Frank Woods, whom they suspect possesses vital information about the whereabouts of Raul Menendez.
Does it talk about the war?
Concedes Menendez recently visited him. I don't see anything about a war.
Okay,
Call of Duty, so of course
we are at war. America is at war with China in 2025 over them stopping their export of rare earth minerals, and that is exactly what they did yesterday in 2025. It's insane.
Yeah.
But I'm not here mostly to talk about the tariff shit because that's dumb and ludicrous, and Trump's an idiot, Elon's an idiot, they all fucking suck.
Did you buy the dip, Bobby?
No, I did not buy the fucking dip. I did not short sell the country to buy the fucking dip. The only dip I'm buying is French onion, motherfucker.
Yeah. I've never purchased a stock before, but there was like a twinge a few days ago where it's like, this is all stupid bullshit, right? Like, I don't know, maybe when everything's down, you should really get in because he'll do something stupid.
A lot of them do it.
And then he did something stupid, and I was like, well, I was never going to do that anyway, so I don't really care.
What I wanted to talk to you about...
If I did buy stock, it only would have gone back down.
You would have bought GameStop stock, right?
Well, that never... Yeah.
No.
Not couldn't be me.
The tariffs it's fucking wild that we are unable to pre-order a Nintendo. I'll just say that. That's a very weird thing to have to deal with because of what's going on. One of the first things I want to talk to you about, Chase, is we did get some pricing on a few things, and we're going to talk a lot about price. At least I want to talk a lot about price because that's been all that I've seen really associated with this hardware and software.
This is still a little up in the air, right? Like these are the prices they quoted when they quoted them, but who knows? Yeah.
So like, I think we talked about how stupid it is they're charging for their Switch Tour tech demo game. That should be the fucking thing you play.
That's apparently maybe the stupidest thing I heard is that they're charging for that.
That's $10 for that.
Yeah.
Insanity. But the other thing that I've been seeing a lot of people talk about is the price of Mario Kart and the overall price of the Switch. And I wanted to just like kind of call out the hypocrisy if I could, Chase, because I don't love that things have gotten more expensive, but I admittedly have talked a lot of shit about the Nintendo Switch for its graphical output. But what I have not talked shit about is there's been a lot of copycats that have chased the form factor and the idea of the Switch, primarily in the PC space. We've seen the Steam Deck now, multiple things have popped up. And there is not a single one of those that gets remotely close to the approachability, simplicity, and elegance of the Nintendo Switch. Like, it is a phenomenal piece of like the hybrid dream of a console and on the go device. There's not anything I've experienced that does it better when it comes to grab and go.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the closest thing is like an iPad, and that's
Yeah,
kind of a different category. But
correct. And,
yeah,
correct. And so I've seen a lot of people talking shit about the Switch 2 coming out with PS4 level graphics and charging the price that it does. And I'm kind of looking around the room and I'm like, yeah, I can understand where you would get there, because when the Switch came out, people were really down and out about nothing around graphics because it was fucking cool that you could take something with you. We were all bewildered by it, but we're a bit jaded now about where tech is and what it should be, etc. But when I think about the Switch and I think about the Switch 2 coming in at the price point it is, and I look at the current gen console and I look back to the PS4 era when the Switch came out, it's dominated. Except for 2024, the Switch has been the number one selling console since it came out. And there has been multiple iterations of powered increase on PS4 to Xbox Series X to the PS5 and now the PS5 Pro. And I care a lot about that. I think it's incredibly important.
I do know that.
But I think at the end of the day, you can't really compare that, because people obviously do not give a shit about the Switch being dated because they've put out one of the most impressive gaming libraries at a very consumer friendly price for the Switch compared to the other stuff. Now, you're going to play a bit more than you could on the Switch, but I think it's asinine that people are going to say anything about the Switch costing $450 when you can look at something like the PlayStation Portal that does fuck all for $200 and requires at minimum a $400 piece of hardware at your home. So you are spending $600 to get a much, much, much less than experience than you would get on a Switch. My ROG Ally X is an $800 handheld. I love that thing, but I'm not going to tell you I don't have to wrestle with it a bit for driver updates, Windows updates, making sure games are running at the right optimization for it. It has a much weaker battery. Docking it sucks. Like, the elegance of this thing being a true like replacement while I'm on the go, it does that to a degree pretty well. But I keep coming back to the price point of the Switch and its comparative point to the current gen consoles and what you're getting with it. There's not a fucking gaming handheld right now that, I mean, you could say the Steam Deck is, I think you can get like the bare minimum Steam Deck for like $400, $300 right now, somewhere in there. And it's a cool piece, but it still doesn't do all this stuff to the degree that the Switch does.
I agree with you to an extent, but I think there's a lot of the things that you're doing is comparing it to other consoles,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if other people are doing this. This is just the math that I'm doing in my head. Is I'm comparing it to Nintendo's history. Like, Nintendo has always had a
Sure.
history of making a lower powered machine that ends up being cheaper and friendly.
Yep.
It goes all the way back to the Game and Watch and the Game Boy. Of oh, the Game Boy didn't have color graphics like the
Right.
Sega Game Gear, um, but it was able to have a lot of battery life. It was able to get the quality games on it, a lot of creativity in there, and it was sold for like less than $100, and that was a big deal. The original Switch was what, 250 when it came out, which
Uh,
was
250 or 299, I thought. Yeah, 250.
I think it was 250, like significantly less than you'd get out of a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One. Um, and so I think when people are comparing console to or Nintendo to Nintendo, it's ooh, we went from 250 to 450. That's
I think it was
crazy, right?
299. 299.
Okay, it's still like that's a
Yeah.
that's $150 markup.
Yeah.
And I feel like people were thinking it would be a little bit less than that. I didn't really balk at the 450 number because look at the world.
Yeah.
Sure, they're gonna get theirs. The Mario Kart thing's a little bit interesting to me, in Nintendo thinking that they were selling $60 games last time, and now they're selling according to them, $70 games, but then the occasional premium one's going to be 80. And what that line of premium means, we don't really know. They said Mario Kart and Donkey Kong, I think, are both $80 games.
Donkey Kong is not.
Donkey Kong's not? Okay. Well,
The
there was
only,
another one that was going to be 80. I can't remember which one.
the only one that they've shown that has 80 on it right now is Mario Kart.
Okay. I thought they mentioned maybe another one, but
not yet.
Anyway, so that kind of reads to me that it's a little concerning to somebody to go like, "Oh, $20 jump. We haven't really had a $20 jump in a video game before. We kind of expect, oh, it went up from 50 to 60 to 70, but going up to 80 seems a little crazy. But
Honestly, it's
if
up to
only
up to 90 for that game if you buy it physical.
Sure. Here's my thing though. Not nobody. Very few people should be buying this game for $80 based on the
Well,
information.
yeah, if you're
Nintendo's
buying a
given
Switch,
because they're offering a bundle with Mario. Well, okay, again, these prices are also fake because none of it matters anymore. But
right?
The bundle they were presenting was getting Mario Kart and the Switch 2 for $500, which would make it $50.
Yep.
And so, like, why would you be buying Mario Kart loose if you could just get the bundle?
let me give you, I'm going to give you 4 games that I think are probably the most popular on the Switch.
Okay.
I want you to try and throw out what you think sales numbers are, how many copies they've sold of each one of these.
I will be terrible at this, but okay.
It'll be fun for people listening. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
20 million copies.
Okay, I will tell you this. There's nothing on this list below 30 million.
Okay. See, I'm really bad at this. I have no idea. All right. So 35 for Zelda,
okay,
based on that.
Zelda is 32.62 million.
Okay.
What about Super Smash Brothers Ultimate?
That's going to be not way higher, but I'm going to guess that's going to be around 40.
Okay, that one's 35.88.
Okay.
Animal Crossing New Horizon.
37.
47.44.
God damn it. COVID really fucked us all up, didn't it?
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
That's going to be in like the 50 million range, right? 50, 55 million almost. Like it's the highest selling thing they have.
67.35 million.
That's fucking crazy.
It's fucking crazy. Now, you can take into account potentially, like they did bundle every holiday Mario Kart and Switch. Like, so maybe they're counting that as a sale of that game. Sure. I don't quite know how they do that.
I'm sure they are. But I mean, that's the way they got to say like Super Mario Brothers
big
was
package
the highest selling game at the time, because yes, it was just one package with the thing. Wii Sports was really big because it was packaged.
Oh yeah, totally. Now this isn't a pack-in game, to be clear. It technically is, you're paying for that pack-in, but I think that you bring up a good point, because I do agree 80 is about outrageous, and I think people kind of try and talk at it from a perspective of like $80 for a kid's game. Like, I think that people misunderstand the legs.
Spend lots of money on kids. Have you had a kid?
I mean, look, it's my point being is that while I don't necessarily love where this is going, we have been talking for a few years about paying better wages to keep development fair and consistent, and I don't think that's the case right now with Nintendo. But what I do think it is that they are absolutely tapping into data of people playing their games and saying, we have people who are spending hundreds of hours on Mario Kart at 50, 60.
They see 65 million, 67 million, and
right.
They go, what if we got an extra $10 out of all the people who are going to buy this anyway?
Correct.
It's Mario Kart. They'll fucking buy it. I mean, we have many charts that say how popular Mario Kart is. They bought 67 million copies of a game we already put out on a previous console.
I agree with you. I also think they have alluded, I know that they have alluded, I don't know what it'll be, that this game is ripe for expanding. It's an open world. They can add more shit to it. They've certainly proven that they're not shying away from adding more into these games.
I would actually say it's harder to add to an open world game like this than it would be for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, in the way it was just 8 more tracks.
I think this
instead of like, oh, we have to find ways of building these tracks into the open world.
It's
is
just
it
kind
going
of
to
like
be like a
Forza
Burnout
Horizon
Paradise
or
thing?
Burnout.
Yeah, is it
Yeah.
going to be a Forza Horizon or Burnout
Yeah.
Paradise
It's
where
that.
there's a new island that you go to, and now it's a
Correct.
separate, smaller open world, and that's possible too. It's
But
all possible.
if they're looking at their premium or whatever they want to call it, I think they're making an educated guess that like, hey, this is going to be a very popular game. It's our only launch title. B and C. We know that for a decade plus, people have played the shit out of Mario Kart, and they want to play it. So it's a safe bet for us to say your mileage is going to go pretty far at $80 with this game.
Nice mileage, Mario Kart. Good.
But I don't think that. I mean, it's interesting too that this new Donkey Kong announced moments after this is coming in at 70. So like they must know or have feelings that like, Donkey Kong might not have the staying power on his own that, Mario Kart does. I don't know what I guarantee
it's
you
possible. I mean, Donkey Kong's also is that a completely first party game, or are they having somebody else help with Donkey Kong?
I've heard that it's the team that did Odyssey.
Okay. Because they don't usually, like, Donkey Kong has usually ended up being something that Rare did, or they'd get other companies to make Donkey Kong for them. But yeah, I guess if it's from the Odyssey team, that's I guess I'm a little surprised.
Yeah,
I figured that would be.
Hang on, I'm trying to ban this person from chat.
I already banned him.
Okay, ban hammers down. I think all that to be said, man, I just feel I'm not trying to defend Nintendo here for their pricing structure because they don't need me to white knight for them, but I think it's fucking weird that we have moved the conversation so far in a direction that doesn't really make sense to me given the grand scheme of all this other thing happening right now with gaming hardware. Like those are things that like it doesn't feel like Sony has been great or consumer focused. Like I think that they've charged a lot. Like they've got very expensive the DualSense Edge, they've got headphone, all that shit. I just think that Nintendo's under a level of scrutiny because they've always been the cheap console, and now they're showing up and they're saying, fuck you guys, we've beaten you for decades, we're going to show up, we're going to play at this price point. And people who are saying, like I've seen people say this is a like Wii U level bad. People have been telling everyone, and we talked about Apple whenever we talked about the Switch 2 announcement. Apple has mastered incremental updates with the same sticker, if not higher, on shit. And I think Nintendo saw that and they're like, well, everybody wants the Switch. We're going to add some stuff to it. We're going to make it better, keep the shit the same, and we're going to do some updates because the market's changed. I feel like this is a damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I also feel the timing of what's going on has politicized this even further into being kind of a token piece of point. Like, look at this thing's not shipping now because of the tariffs. Like, it's all tied into that. It's fucking crazy.
I mean, if it gets gamers to actually, engage with politics and
sure,
go vote a little bit,
yeah,
that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
No.
Yeah.
So we'll keep up.
Also, 450. I know that again, that number's almost assuredly going to change, but that would still make them comparatively cheap to what a Microsoft or a Sony would charge for a new console.
Microsoft is one, going to be teasing the next console very soon, and two, it's all but confirmed that I think Asus they're going to be manufacturing their gaming handheld, their Xbox branded. That thing is going to be $700 to $900, probably.
Absolutely. Zero chance that thing would come in at like 450.
Yeah. So I think at that point in time, if you start to really like go back to console wars, like look at the trade war instead. Look at where things are at. Like just use your common sense to look at where money is going with these things, and look at the package. Like you want more. You want it to be faster and stronger with the same battery. Like that's GPU, CPU, and battery. And you want it to have the OLED screen. Like they dumb down the screen to keep it there. And like this thing, there will be a Switch 2 that comes out with an OLED and a better, like it'll be more money. It's going to happen. Sure. We know that much, but we've got some other shit to talk about. We're going to keep talking about this thing. Maybe we'll get to pre-order it. Maybe we won't. I don't quite know. But I think that there's a lot happening right now that is very, very, very crazy.
I mean, just a slightly different crazy, but also something that's going on. Have you seen anything about the boycott stuff of Microsoft and Xbox?
I saw, was this, they were doing like their 50-year celebration, and this was the pro-Palestinian disruptions, correct?
Yeah, this is like Israel stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to divest from Xbox as much as possible. Which I just wonder if that's going to affect them at all. I don't know how effective protests and boycotts seem to be
What's
these
the
days.
what's the connection with micro? I'm just not familiar with what's
It's
going
like
on.
Microsoft, like all the Israeli systems are working on Microsoft Windows, and they're using AI shit and servers and things like that. That's all Microsoft stuff and cloud stuff, that services that they're using. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Um,
I just wonder if that's going to affect anything at all
yeah,
for
I
Microsoft, or like it seems a little weird to me. If I'm a person at Microsoft, to go like, well, this, once people announce a boycott of our thing, now's the time for us to stream
yeah.
the next Xbox.
Here we go. We're gonna do this. Like, I think it's being teased in a few different ways, but yeah, man, it's a very interesting time. Like, these are like, to be clear, I don't want to have to talk about tariffs. I don't have to talk about like trade deficits and all that shit. Like, this is
Yeah,
not
it'd
stuff.
be nice to just talk about video games.
Yeah, I mean, but unfortunately, it's now something that we need to cover, and we're gonna do our best to stay educated. And if we say and get shit wrong, we'll figure it out. And obviously, this is an opinion-driven podcast. Like, my take on it. Like, I will also tell you, like, I'm not a financial advisor, but if there's uncertainty in the market or your finances, like, video games are a very healthy thing in my life that I don't know how I would really unwind, relax, and enjoy without them. But they're expensive. And so, like, don't overextend yourself for the new. There's plenty of cool shit you can play that's out there right now. Spend your money where you feel comfortable. I'm sorry that things have gotten
honestly,
expensive.
You don't have to buy new shit. Like, there's a
No.
bunch of old shit out there that's
Yeah.
really cheap, and
Yep.
you can find and enjoy and
Absolutely.
have a good time. I know a friend of our show, Carol Mertz,
Yeah.
has put up, like, you don't even have to play video games. She's put up a new website called
It's
playwithyourjunk.com.
really clever.
A clever name. She's very clever,
Yes.
just to begin with. But like, the whole thing is, here's a bunch of like sustainable games that you can play that you only need like paper and pen for. Like, you don't need to go out and buy magic cards, even though I do.
Chase,
but, like,
say that to the mirror every morning.
I should, and then I wouldn't listen to myself anyway. But like, there's plenty of stuff, and also, there are ROMs out there. You could go play a lot of fucking old video games and be just fine.
Yeah.
So there was a part of me that, it's very silly, but like, when all the tariff information started flying around, and the thought that, oh, all the video games are gonna be harder to come in, and they're all gonna be too expensive. There's a part of me is like, ooh, what if this is an opportunity to just go and play a bunch of old games and not have to worry about new?
Oh, there's that too.
That'd be really nice. I have that whole fucking wheel. I could get a lot of wheel games done during
if I could be bold here,
Yeah.
the one thing I have seen that is going to probably be decimated by high tariffs if those get brought back in, or even if the ones with China stick, tabletop gaming is at a really big disadvantage on how they manufacture and do things. And I've seen a lot of people talk about, like, I'm just moving to PDFs and like dropping away from the other shit. But
Sure.
if you've been on the fence about a tabletop game or a board game out there, like, maybe get it now, or maybe look at like Patreons to support people, because they might have some rough roads ahead of them. Again, spend your money how you want to spend your money. There's other ways to support people without your dollar. Popping by a chat and saying hello helps out. Popping onto and liking something. Like, there's a lot you can do to engage with stuff to help people right now. Chase, we've got about half hour left of the show. I'm going to do my best to take 15 minutes and tell you about 2 video games that I've been spending a lot of time with.
Okay.
How does that sound?
It sounds lovely.
How about the British countryside? How lovely does that sound to you right now?
It is in England. I don't know about that, but
what about
outside of that? It sounds kind of nice.
Okay, what if I took you into an alt history of what happened at the Windscale fire of 1957?
I mean, the idea of an alternate timeline from the one we're currently in sounds awesome.
Yeah.
No matter how bad it gets, I'm sure.
We're talking about Adamfall from Rebellion Studios. Chase, this game will set you back $49.99 for the standard, $69.99 for the deluxe. It came out on March 27th, 2025. It is currently on Game Pass if you subscribe there. This is a very neat game, and I am almost done with it, and I think you will love to hear that. If you've seen this game,
Okay.
Here's why I say that, because you hate open world shit. You don't like big epics
Yeah,
any longer.
It's not that I hate open worlds. I had my phase of playing them,
Yeah.
and there's a lot that feels like adding extra padding to an open world that I feel like my time is more precious than ever when it comes to my entertainment and hobbies.
Yeah.
And I don't want to waste my time walking around a big world that's relatively empty.
Then Adamfall might be the game for you.
Okay.
Adamfall is an incredibly tight, dense, however, survival open world. Like when I say survival, it's to the degree of like a Fallout would be. Like this game sits beside
eating and drinking.
No, you eat food to heal yourself if you need to heal.
Sure.
That's the only thing you do. This would sit beside a Stalker. This would sit beside a Fallout. Again, it is a post-apocalyptic take on an actual factual nuclear disaster that happened in Windscale. But they take some very strong liberties on what that is. Like it could be a meteor that maybe hit into this factory and there was maybe some bio stuff on that caused some weird shit for people. But the game is really fascinating, and everything is presenting to you on how you should approach it. There's no fast travel in this. There's no over encumbrance in this. You're not aimlessly picking up like a bunch of random, like here's some malto meal, or here's some fucking Nuka-Cola caps. Like
you're not stealing a bunch of soup in this one.
You're not stealing soup in this one. You are getting components because the game is it's really built off of when I say crafting, it's not like what you think, but like upgrading your guns and stuff. So like every weapon you find in the game when you first start is called rusty. So they don't use like common, uncommon there. It's rusty, stock, and pristine. And the way it would work is if you find this magazine in the game, that's how you can learn skill sets. You can unlock the ability to upgrade weapons. And so if I have 2 rusty pistols, I can then upgrade those 2 rusty pistols into a stock pistol. And then I can take 2 stock pistols and turn them into a pristine. And so the game has heavy machine guns. It's got submachine guns, rifles, bow and arrows, and pistols, and then knives. And you are fighting soldiers. You are fighting some feral creatures, some mutated creatures in this game. And it's set up in a really fascinating, very British, the Interchange, this big sci-fi building that's been locked down to quarantine. And the neighboring 4 villages around it cannot get to one another. And again, that's the game. Like there's 4 little hubs you go into, one big interchange. Everything is very much like, all right, cool. I'm going over here to this town. And then there's not like a bunch of needless markers all over the screen. You're finding leads. And like one of the first things you come in there, it's like, hey, you need to get an atomic battery. And like, you can go look over here. That's where you want to go. So it's not like A, B, C. It's here's A, here's Z somewhere down here on the line, and you can find all kinds of ways to go and get that battery. I happened to be on the quest, came into a town that had giant fucking robots walking around it, and one of them went past me, and I saw that it had a like what appeared to be some sort of like power on its back. I'm like, I wonder if that's a battery. So I decided, why not learn to take down a robot? So I fought this robot a few times, died a few times, went back and did it, and then got the battery off of its back. Because you need those batteries to power up the interchange that you go into that allows you to go to other towns. And then there's like 5 threads that you're pulling, and everybody's kind of asking you to do shit for some reason. Whether you're going to side with the druids who think that the meteor is talking to them, or if you're siding with more of the military because you need to do ethnic cleansing there, like all kinds of stupid shit.
They both sound bad to me.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, there's it's not like a grim game. Like it's honestly kind of, it's very British, very dry, but it is set 1950s British, you know, like it's it's a cool game. It's Rebellion. So if you're not familiar with them, they do the Sniper Elite series, and that's what I've gotten to know them from.
Sure.
But I did find out that this is their number one selling, their fastest, and I think their number one, maybe not number one selling, but fastest selling for sure game in 32 years of being a studio. It's got like over 1 million copies sold. It's getting like 6, 7, 8 range as far as the reviews go. But I think the gameplay feels really good. The shooting feels really good. There are some stealth mechanics you can go into, but it's, you know, it's safe. It's a safe game. It's not really pushing any boundaries by its mechanics. Visually, it looks fine, but I'm having a really good time. It's just a very enjoyable, predictable, like you're going to shoot a few things, you're going to find some leads and get to do like a real, that's probably the best thing I can say about it. You're doing quite a bit of exploring based off of leads and just talking to people and the things that kind of happen. There's a lot packed into these small little locations, so you don't have to look very far to go and do it. There's not going to be 50 shops. There's like one shop. There's one bakery. Go into both of those, maybe get a story or two from them and see what's going on. But there's a lot of moral diarrhea you got to sift through on this one. So it's cool. Atom Fall's cool. It is, I think, an approachable price too in the grand scheme of $80 video games. You get a lot here for that price. But if you really want to spread your money and make some money and get into the underbelly of things,
oh no,
you need to check out Schedule 1.
Oh god.
Don't be upset. Don't be mad at it. It is something that I saw and I'm like, that's fucking weird. And then I started to look at this a bit more and I'm like, all right, maybe there's something fun to be had here. Like, am I missing something? Like, what is this? But have you looked at anything for this game since I've told you about it?
I've watched a bit of a trailer and I've seen some screenshots and I pretty immediately went, that's not for me. But you seem to be having a good time. And I guess I still am not sure if this is all just some elaborate bit or if you actually like this game.
I actually like this game quite a bit. I have been building. So this game, I'd like to bury the lead here. This game is Schedule 1. It came out on March 24th. It will set you back $19.99. It has been reviewed on Steam over 90,000 times, and it's at an overwhelmingly positive. This is a sim. It's a drug dealing simulator. And you start off with getting a hotel room, and you're kind of at like a no-tell motel type situation. And you start to grow some pot in your hotel room, and you have to go out and offer free samples to people and build a client list and then start growing more. And then you can start to get into more hardcore stuff. Like I've been making meth on here. I don't even know if can I talk about this stuff on Twitch? Like, this is weird. Do I even?
Hell if I know, man.
Like, what is the law anymore? But when I first saw it, it just kind of, you start the game off in you're in a camper, just like Breaking Bad. Like, this is in a lot of ways Breaking Bad, the game,
Sure.
without all the drama. But you are.
Everybody hated the drama in Breaking Bad, so it's...
Oh yes, that was the worst part. It's just an incredibly silly game, man. Like, you're going around, you're building new strands.
I think it's important to mention the art style here, because the art style is
like Justin Roiland.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that to you when I first saw some screenshots. This just seems like something that would be like a Rick and Morty spin-off game. Yeah,
I think that you could be reductive and get to that point pretty quickly just by looking at it, but it is comical. I think that's like part of it. Like, everybody has these big bulging eyes. As soon as you deal something to them, they start to, that's the other thing too. Like, your strands can really like change people's behavior quite a bit in this game. And you get people hooked. Like, one of the things is like addiction levels. And I think it's very much satirical, but I think there's a lot here that the basic elements of like drug manufacturing is at play. But I think it's pretty fucking funny. I don't have it pulled up right now, but I've been trying to keep track of some of the names of my strands. So I've been working on, I first started the casual hours of drug dealer, at least the name of my organization when I was playing it, but now I've been moving towards I'm working on a few names right now that are more Midwest and Branson, Missouri based. And so
Have you used your old screen name, which would be a great name for a drug?
Lumberjack Smack.
Lumberjack Smack. It's right there.
I haven't done that one yet. So the Devil's Dolly Partons was like one one group I was thinking about naming. The Branson Buzz Co. Thought that was pretty good. Silver Dollar Dabs. Yakov's Jazz Tobacco. The Hillbilly High Society. Metropolitan. The Cornbread Cartel is my current favorite. The Tornado Chronic Prairie Blaze Syndicate. This is probably my favorite for Branson. Let Us Pray, but spelled like the vegetable. LLC.
God,
some of the names that I've come up with: Cornfield Kush, Porch Swing Panic, Showboat Sherbert,
oh my God.
Bible Study Buzz, Uncle Rip's Rub, Gas Station Ganja, Breakfast Pizza Breath, Cheese Bread Skittles, Slice of High, Copenhagen Kush, Big Gulp Bubba, the 618 Highline, which is Southern Illinois.
God damn it. So it sounds like you're having a good time.
You've seen me run a comic book shop.
Yeah, a comic book shop, a card shop, yeah, multiple card shops, in fact, yeah.
You've not. I don't know if you want to see me in the streets, Chase. I'll say that much right now.
Power washing business. I've seen you run that. Yeah.
Look,
no,
I'm a simple man. Let me sim. I'm a simple man, Chase.
Oh, God
that is schedule one. We are going to be playing that, or at least I'm going to be playing that this week on stream. So swing back around if you want to see where we're at. I've got a bungalow now. I've got a room above a Chinese restaurant, a hotel, and I'm about to get my second dealer. And I've been I'm kind of getting off weed and pushing meth now in the game a bit more, making some big money. So yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, things are going good. We're building an empire. That's schedule one and Atomfall. Both are games that you should check out for sure.
Okay, well, I haven't been playing anything that
you're not dealing drugs or anything.
No. But I have been playing a couple of video games. I actually have been going back and looking into some of my backlog, and I played a game that I was supposed to play for the wheel, and I played another game that I'm pretty sure is on the wheel. So I think I can take off 2 wheel games.
Oh, 2 wheels.
Look at me making progress. The first one I was supposed to play, and I did. Spartan Total Warrior.
How was it?
It's okay. I think I would have liked
this
it a
is
lot
a
more
RTS, right?
So no, this is from Creative Assembly, who make the Total War games, but this specifically was an action game that they made like as a different little thing.
Is this the one that was on Xbox?
It was on Xbox. It was on game. I'm playing the GameCube version, but I think it was Xbox, PS2, and GameCube. Yeah,
that's right. Okay. Yeah, I remember this box art.
Yeah, I always remember. I think I played like a demo of this. That was on like some kind of demo disc, and just I thought the art style was really cool. Honestly, I still think the art style looks really cool. Like there's something very clean and lower poly about it, like of the era low poly. But there's like the textures look good, and it just kind of looks really. It's so easy to read.
The bricks and stuff. I mean, you don't like this time, especially those games who just had like really shitty textures. Like that was one of my biggest complaints looking back on them. They didn't remaster this, did they?
No, they didn't. I'm pretty sure this is the only time this game's
come
out ever.
Okay.
But I've always kind of wanted to play it, just as a, I was really big into like Greek mythology, and I still kind of am.
But, how could you not be?
I mean, not in I'm gonna put a statue as my avatar on social media and talk about traditional values or whatever.
Who would ever do that?
Nobody cool, that's for sure. But I just kind of liked this. I've liked Spartan style movies and Greek stuff, and gods and things like that. So I just wanted to give this a shot, and I went in and played a little bit of it, and man, it is kind of just a keep hitting the A button to keep on
Dude,
slashing.
I think that the more I've tried to go back to this time period to play shit, I end up walking back and realizing that nostalgia was better than the actual thing. And
Yeah.
I don't know, the games, I think that we've just been pushing like graphical updates so heavily. We've kind of forgotten how much better games feel today than they used to. And
I think that's probably fair. I mean, my problems because I've played relatively simple slashy games before. I'm a Dynasty Warriors fan. I know how this feels,
yeah.
but this one specifically, it tries to give you some different tools. Like it gives you a roll, it gives you a block, and you don't really have a parry exactly. Man, this game could use a parry, but you have ways of like shield smashing and being able to slash into some guys that way. You do get a bow that you can use and get some ranged attacks. Like it has some options, but it just kind of keeps throwing dudes at you, and so many of them put up shields and block you that you kind of just it just feels like kind of swinging through mud a lot because there's just a
Mm,
bunch of dudes that you're swinging through, and it's hard to know that you're doing a heck of a lot of damage. The game's fully voiced though, which I was really impressed with. Like
yeah.
that's the voice acting's not great, but it's not bad. Um, and it's just it's a cool looking game, and you kind of go through your different little set pieces, and each set piece has its own little gimmick to it. Of the first thing you do is, oh, they're the Persians are or Romans, sorry, the Romans are breaching the walls of Sparta, and so they put up like these big siege towers, and they're slamming down, and it feels very Lord of the Rings Two Towers of, okay, we're just
Oh
slashing guys
shit.
as they come in. Where like there's a guy that you have to escort who's like holding a bomb, and you have to like get the bomb to the siege towers to blow them up and get them off the wall. And you're like, okay, that's kind of cool. You do that 3 times because there are 3 towers, and then everybody goes, okay, run to the next place, go to the next uh, set piece area, and this set piece area now has um, like the big cauldron of burning oil that you can pour on to dudes that are like trying to breach the
Fuck
door.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, there's that. And then also the Romans brought this giant man, this giant man statue that's like it's like the Statue of Liberty that's like walking to you and trying to smash down your walls. Like this game is definitely not historically accurate. But they brought
Doesn't sound
this
like it. Why wouldn't it be?
yeah, but they brought this giant dude, and so now
How
you're
else did
trying
the
to
Statue of Liberty get here?
balance.
It walked over here.
Absolutely, yeah. You
I've
think the
seen
French just like
Ghostbusters
brought it
too.
over on a
I know
boat?
what happened. That thing can walk.
um, but so now it becomes more of like a balancing act of like, okay, yes, slashing and killing these dudes is relatively easy, but now you have to keep them off the mechanism that's dropping the hot oil from the cauldron, because and you need to keep the hot oil happening because then they'll break through the door, and you don't want that. But also the giant guys coming, so you need to then protect these different catapults. There's 3 different catapults that you have to get to, and when they're ready, then you can let them go and fire a big rocket at the big metal man, and you do that 3 times, and then he knocks over and you win.
Fuck yeah.
So it's just like a bunch of different little set piece things that you do in the different levels, and I think that part's kind of cool. That's all the first level, and I was having a pretty good time with that. Of just, okay, yeah, you're the fighting itself is kind of boring, but the like balancing all the plates is kind of cool. And then the second mission is like kind of a stealth mission and super sucks.
Oh
And I was
no.
like, okay, I'm having a whole lot less fun with this.
Mm.
And then I went, okay, I've been playing this for a good session. I'm going to put this down, and I'll come back to it maybe a little bit later. And then it ate my save, and I went, well, I don't care about it that much, so I guess I'm done playing this game. But it was good to get
R.I.P.
in,
forever.
and honestly, kind of like maybe I'll watch some stuff on YouTube about what happens, because I think I wouldn't call it good, but I like the character design. I like just the design that's
Yeah.
going on
Again,
in the
I'm looking
game.
at it. It's not bad looking.
It's kind of cool looking. It's still I kind of wish we'd get more games that look like this
Yep.
even now. I think that would be kind of cool. So I don't think anybody needs to go out and play
It kind of
Spartan
looks
Total
like
Warrior.
Valheim.
Yeah, I could see that. Honestly, I think
Yeah,
that's a relatively fair comparison.
yeah.
But yeah, it scratched. I got the itch scratched. I never really have to care about it again, but I did get to play it. So then I decided, you know what? I already have this quote unquote official Nintendo GameCube hooked up. I might as well try playing another official Nintendo GameCube video game. And I looked at my list and I went, hey, we just saw that Switch 2. We just saw some trailers for some Switch 2 games. And one of the big surprises that came out of that presentation was Kirby's Air Ride 2 or Kirby's Air Riders. I forgot what they call it
Air
now. Air
Riders.
Riders. Yeah, yeah. And I went, I never actually played the first game. I looked at it. I always thought it looked cool. Like that's cool, a Kirby
This is
racing
this
game. You're on,
Kirby Air Ride.
yes, Kirby Air Ride. That's the first one from the Nintendo GameCube. And I went, yeah, okay, let's try some Kirby Air Ride. Like it's gonna be like Mario Kart, right?
Has to be.
And it kind of is. Bobby, have you ever played Kirby's Air Ride before?
No, I think the only thing I've played that would be remotely adjacent from Mario Kart was Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah. Um, this isn't. I mean, it's a little bit like it, but it's not. So you are racing on tracks. You do find power ups. Kirby sucks them in, and then you get the power of the power up for a little bit, and you get to use it, and that's kind of cute. So in that way, it's a little bit like Mario Kart, but in many ways, it's extremely different in a way that feels very Sakurai. Like this is
Mm.
Sakurai's. This is HAL Laboratory who made this. They make all or most of the Kirby games. This is a Sakurai game, and that's why he's coming back for the sequel. And when I say it
He
feels like
should be
Sakurai,
resting.
yeah, he really should be. Like you, dude, you've earned it.
Yeah,
Just take a break.
sleep.
Um, but it feels like Sakurai in the way that it is going for like a single mechanical idea, and everything kind of feeds into that mechanical idea. And in this game, it is you play it with one button and one stick. That's all you really need to play this game. And a lot of it is like context sensitive stuff. So your cart or your star, or there are a couple different vehicles, but your vehicle moves on its own.
I'm watching it right now.
So you don't have to worry about, acceleration, any of that kind of stuff. Like it just goes. That's fine. So you can steer, and then you can hit the A button to power slide, kind of like you like put your star down on the ground, and it'll slow you down, but also it can let you angle to like get a power boost
Yeah,
coming
slow
out of
on the
it.
ground, but a great glider type thing.
Yeah, yeah. So like you'll grind into a turn, and then it'll like shoot you out of it and boost out of it. And that's kind of a cool feeling. It makes it feel very different than Mario Kart,
Oh, sure.
which playing through this made me think, oh, maybe I was a little wrong that Nintendo's putting out two racing games. They're showing off two racing games in the Switch 2 presentation, because this didn't really feel like Mario Kart at all when you start playing it that way and understanding what's going on. So I played through a couple of races.
I'm watching it.
It,
It
it
looks
it
crazy.
extremely has the Super Smash Brothers stuff where like it has like in-game achievements, and it goes to like this giant wall where it breaks open pieces that go, hey, you got this achievement, and it also connects to like four other achievements that are all around it, and now you can start chipping away at this wall and getting new bonuses and things like that, in the same way that Smash Brothers does
Hmm.
that. And that's kind of interesting. And it started to unlock a handful of new vehicles for me to use, and one of them was like a stove. um,
Okay.
it's like I'm just sitting on a
This one
big
looks like a
box.
bird that he's flying on right now.
Yeah, so that's like the big glider.
Yeah.
That one's all about all the vehicles feel extremely different. So the star is kind of the basic one, but then you have this glider, and the glider is slow on the ground, but it's fast in the air.
Yes.
And there are a bunch of places where you wouldn't really jump. Like if you were in any other vehicle, you would just kind of continue going straight. But in this one, you're finding every little bump in the track and trying to get airborne, and then a little bit like a Super Mario World cape kind of thing, where you're trying
Oh
to like
yeah, like
balance and
bounce.
go
Yeah, yeah,
up and
yeah.
down and up and
I
down
can
to
see
like
the
hold
person
and
doing
keep the.
that.
So you're like trying to keep your elevation because that's how you keep speed in that form. The stovetop thing that I was using, just the big box, is just really, I think it's faster, but it's just really bad at power sliding. You don't get boosts out of your power slide, so you have to just kind of use it more sparingly. And then the last one that I unlocked before I kind of stopped my session is the fucking craziest thing. It is it's basically it basically stops you when you hit the brake. It just completely stops you, and then you can turn. And as soon as you are where you want to go direction wise, then you let go, and then it starts going again. There's no sliding. It's just stop on a dime, turn to where you want to go, and then let go.
Weird.
But it doesn't steer. There's no other way to steer it. So you're constantly having to make little decisions of, okay, I need to brake now and like adjust it a little bit, or I need to completely go into this
Why would
turn.
anybody want to do this?
So you want to do it because there are some levels, there are some tracks that have 90-degree or even tighter turns. And if you're in a vehicle
Yeah,
that can just go and make that turn
then
and
you're
be
good.
incredibly sharp, you're going to get way more speed than somebody who has to kind of like try to power slide around it and take like a weird line to try to hit an apex.
You know,
Uh,
you mentioned
Go
something
ahead.
earlier, man, and I can't shake it. You mentioned like Nintendo Switch 2 with like 2 racing games.
Yeah.
If Mario Kart World is Forza Horizon, what if Nintendo has like the best opportunity
Mhm.
to make F-Zero but Forza?
That'd be cool. I don't even understand how that would work, but I could see that being a really interesting thing.
Like you're really
Um,
upgrading this futuristic fucking car. Like, all, I mean, they wouldn't do that
oh
because,
yeah, if it's like just tuning
yeah,
in that way, that could be
yeah.
really interesting. When I think Forza Horizon, I think of like a big open world racing game though,
That's
and
that's
like
for
F
that's
Zero.
Mario.
Yeah, that's more what they're doing with World.
Yeah,
But like you need the super tightest of tracks for something like an F Zero.
no, like
Um,
Forza, not Horizon.
yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Okay. Um, so I part of me was like, this is neat, this is
Mm-hmm.
interesting. I kind of like playing this, but at the same time I kind of came in expecting more like a Mario Kart racer, and this is extremely not. This feels, you remember when Nintendo was talking about the last Mario Tennis game that came out,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't play that one, but they were talking about when Mario Tennis came out, and a lot of people were going like, it's not a tennis game, it's a fighting game. And I went, what the fuck are you talking about? That doesn't make any. Obviously, it's a tennis game. I feel like somebody probably would have said the same thing about Kirby's Air Ride back in the day. It's like, guys, you can't think of it as a racing game. You have to
It's
think of it
yeah,
as like a quick time kind of game. Like it's you're just not playing with that same attitude or with that same skill set. It just has the trappings of a racing game, and in that way, I think it's really neat. But it also feels really restrictive, especially with the track design. Because anytime there's no, in like Mario Kart, where it's like, oh, I went off the track a little bit, but I'm on the grass and it's fine. I'm just
yeah,
going to
yeah.
kind of cut through here and I'll be a little slower. Kirby, for the most part, goes, fuck no, stay on the track. Like, what are you doing? Invisible walls everywhere. Everything's invisible walls, which is a real bummer if you're in the machine that flies and it's like, well, I should have been able to fly over
So,
that,
yeah,
right? And
just
it
go
goes,
there.
nope, stay on the
Nope.
track, invisible wall, bump, 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 bump. And I was like, oh, that's huh. So I
Fuck.
wonder, and I hope that when you make a second one of these, maybe you free up the level
Oh,
design a
sure,
little bit
sure.
to make those different machines be able to take different tracks, and like take more advantage of what the types of vehicles do. So it made me kind of interested to hear more about what Kirby Air Riders is going to be,
That's
and
this year,
seeing how they
right?
make those changes. I believe that is. I believe that
Okay.
is this year.
Well, maybe I'll pick that one
Um,
up. Like, I didn't play the other one, but shit, there's not going to be a ton. Well, there's a lot coming out for the Switch in this year, but we'll
there
see.
will be plenty of Switch games, I
Yeah.
imagine.
Well, yeah.
But this was interesting. I was happy to go back to a couple of these games. I didn't spend a bunch of time on either one of them. I probably spent like 3-ish hours on Spartan and maybe like an hour on Kirby.
Yeah.
But it was nice to kind of just poke around and explore some games that I always meant to get to.
That's cool,
And
man.
that was the whole point of the wheel in the first place. So I'm excited to just see some more wheel games and get into that and play some old games while everything gets too expensive. Although
Definitely.
I know tomorrow I probably will be playing a new video game.
Is that the Blueprints tomorrow?
Blueprints, baby. Also, you know, I think they just announced it's going to simultaneously come out on Game Pass and on PlayStation Plus. So I
Oh,
think it's free. Yeah, I
hell
think
yeah.
it's free on PlayStation Plus and Game Pass. So
Yeah,
um,
I'll probably play. I'll pick it up on. I'm based off what I'm hearing. I'm thinking about just buying it, but I don't know if there's like a replay factor to a game like this. You know, like.
I don't know. Yeah.
So I'm gonna definitely check it out on tomorrow for sure when it hits. I'm very hyped for it. We're gonna stream it on Monday next week.
Yeah, all the reviews sound pretty hot for it, and I'm excited to jump into it. But I've also been kind of trying to media blackout a little bit at this point.
Oh yeah,
Just
dude.
okay, I know I want to play the game, so I'll just play the game. Especially
Yeah,
with like a puzzle game where you're like, I don't really want to
dude.
learn
I watched what was shown at
tricks.
PlayStation's thing, and I haven't watched anything else for it.
Same.
That's where I'm at.
So that'll be exciting to play some more of that,
Yeah.
both on stream and off, and really looking forward to that one. But also, it's nice to just play some old games too.
Yeah, dude. We talked a little bit more about the Switch tonight. We talked about Adamfall, Schedule 1, Kirby Air Ride, and we talked about Spartan Warrior. What was that one called again?
Total Warrior.
Total Warrior. We're going to keep you updated on things with the Switch. We're hoping to pre-order one. Like, that has not changed for me. As soon as Nintendo is willing to take my money, I'll give it to them. I've got it set aside. I was saving up for it. I knew it would be in that price point, and I hit it. So I'm going to be getting that. This week, Chase, you and I went back onto our Maritime Mystery, and we solved more unfortunate events on our
We got
series.
really good at brute forcing. Well,
Yeah.
good maybe is the wrong word, but we brute forced a lot, and sometimes it worked out.
We have about a third of that game left. I don't know how quick it'll start to go near the end here, but I think we definitely have a few more weeks of that.
Well,
but
you said we're taking off next week to play.
we are going to check out
so.
Blueprints. We were both high on that one. The buzz is too big to ignore. So Monday night we're going to stream the Blueprints, and you can check that out with us. Tonight, though, we told you all about the games that we've been playing. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to be hitting those streets on Schedule 1, and I might have some friends with me. So that's the plan right now. I think we just have another What You've Been Playing next week, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that is correct, yes.
And we'll keep you up to date. Like, a lot of things are happening right now with gaming and just tech and the world, and we'll try and make sense of it with you all. We've had a few more people stop by and hang out with us, which we appreciate. There's been some really cool stuff with other streams that we've had, so go check out our prior stuff. And another stream that you won't find on the Casual Hours website, but on Chase's. I've been hanging out with him, and I'm having a hell of a good time with Chase.
How could you not?
How could I not?
It's true, though. Bobby and I have been playing through Split Fiction on my YouTube channel, Chase K Plays, in a series we call Stranger Than Split Fiction. We haven't really talked about Split Fiction on this podcast. I imagine we will at some point, maybe when we're a little deeper in the game, or maybe even just when we finish it. But we've done 2 episodes now of Stranger Than Split Fiction. So the newest episode went out earlier today. It's fun.
It's fun. It's a fun game.
We got turned into pigs.
We were pigs 2 ways.
Yeah,
it was fun.
So go check out Chase K Plays. Links in the chat right there. And then I've got another podcast I do with my good friend Pierce Borshane. It's called Pilot Program, where we watch the first episodes of every television show ever made. We recorded our newest episode last night, and I need to edit it and put it out there. But we watched Showtime's The L Word from 2004.
Did you like it?
No, did not. But I think there was a lot of stuff that was really interesting to talk about, both in just the structure of how this show was made, comparisons to something like a Sex and the City that came out a few years before, and this show was certainly trying to cash in on some of that style while also trying to tell its own unique story. So there was some good conversation there, and I think it turned into a relatively good episode. We also announced on that episode, and even though it's not officially out yet, I'm going to announce it here, where our next episode is going to be Late Night with Conan O'Brien.
Oh,
so
cool!
We're gonna watch a talk show and see what that's like. So that'll be kind of fun. We'll that I think happens. We're gonna record that in a few weeks. So you got some time.
Speaking
Enjoy
of
your Easter and whatever.
of television, Chase.
Yeah.
I think I think Monday this week might look a little bit different for a lot of people. And Sunday night is the return of The Last of Us.
Oh.
And those of us who know, I think that there's going to be a very, very hard thing happen on Sunday night for a lot of people. And
I know this, right? Like, this is just the first thing that happens in The Last of Us Part 2? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A game I have not played, but know enough through osmosis. And
there's 7 episodes. They've confirmed they're splitting it. Basically, like, the game has that very, very natural pause in the middle where you flip from being Abby to Ellie, or other way around. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be where the season ends, and they'll pick it up again for season 3 that way. So they're doing 7 episodes, but I know you don't care about it. I
care about the well, care is maybe the wrong word. I have watched the show, and I will watch this season as well. I have never cared about The Last of Us Part 2. I still feel like the first game ended on a note where I didn't need any more, and I actively wish they hadn't made more. But they did, and that's fine, and I'll watch it because it's there. But
maybe we do a little. Maybe we find a way to bake it in, because I mean, I love that game, and you haven't played the game. Yeah. Maybe we talk a little bit about that sometime on the show, just like.
We can do a check-in for sure. Yeah.
Because I think that I don't know what you want from that. I know you don't want much because you didn't want another one altogether, but I'd be curious to see how. I want to know how somebody who hasn't played the game, who played the first game, didn't play the second one, but will watch the second one this way. I'm very curious to see what that looks like.
Well, I can tell you, I want better production values than season 1. That's what I would like, especially in like the backgrounds and cityscapes. Those look kind of rough in the first season.
It's a very weird take, but I think that they go to more on-site stuff.
Oh, the guy who's like, the frame rate's a little off.
Just,
on this
I
game.
think it's a very.
And I mentioned, here's like a technical thing that I wish was a little nicer.
Just like,
and it's like, that's a weird take. Why would you say that?
I didn't say it that way, but what I'd say is that I've seen a lot of criticism for The Last of Us. I just did not think that's where it would go. Like, when I say weird, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's a weird take. I haven't heard that about this be a thing that somebody's critiqued with it, but this one I think there's a lot more.
Well, it was so popular and got so many awards. It would be surprising if they didn't throw more money.
They move. They go to the landscapes in the second game are really striking because you're going closer to where it happened, where the virus came out. So there's a lot more overgrow in some of these. And anyway, that's this Sunday. I'm rambling. We need to wrap this thing up. Chase and I'll talk about The Last of Us to some degree. We've got a lot of cool shit between the two of us that you should check out with the show and Chase's stuff. So do that if you can stand hearing him and I together even more. Stranger Than